So this is my first official day of working on the boat. I had both boys down for naps, and then my 3-year-old Bryce woke up and came out to the garage, so I decided to utilize him as a helper. My first step was to take all the speakers out, 4 speakers in all. Bryce is holding screws. There I am taping up the screws, keep them all organized, labeling them. My goal today is to mark out the gunnel cuts that I want to put in. I want to do water ski storage on the driver's side and then some net storage or something on the passenger side. I'll figure that out kind of when I get there. The old panels I'm using as a template, and there was some tape marking the cuts before, but that wasn't super accurate. So I'm grabbing the old panels, putting them up, and then marking where I'm going to make those cuts in the gunnel. And we'll see if those are the official cuts. Now I'm just pulling some upholstery. This piece of upholstery was the most difficult. It was screwed in with regular sheetrock screws, making it extremely difficult to work with, but I was able to get it out of there. That was it for the afternoon session. Now here I am at night, back out there working on it, and I'm trying to remove the gas tank. Quite the process, but here I am just working at getting the gas tank out of the boat. Removing the gas cap was a bit interesting. You don't really get a view of it there, but when I pulled that thing up, I actually whacked myself in the face and gave myself a little fat lip that lasted about a day. So not super fun there, but all part of the process. That vacuum cleaner that I have there is actually my wife's old house vac. She recently got a new vacuum cleaner, so I commandeered her old one, stripped it down, and now I've got a wall unit. So here we are, day 2 of the Supreme rebuild. Grabbing my gas tank out of the boat. My first step is to siphon off all the gas. Before I do that, I gotta fill up my truck with the old gas that I already siphoned out of the boat just to be able to get the gas tank out of the boat. So, run some old gas through that. You see I got a little bit darker right there. That's because I cut out where I was out in the side yard siphoning the gas out of the very bottom of the old tank into that tank that I just poured into the truck. And now I'm pressure washing that gas tank and getting it all cleaned up. 33 years of grime and nastiness all over it, and pressure wash it down, get it all cleaned up, make it look pretty, and then put the pressure washer away and go to bed. Here we are at lunchtime. The baby's sleeping, Bryce is watching TV, and I am trying to create my workspace. See, I already got a little plastic up on that right hand side shelf unit. Right now I'm trying to put a plastic sheet from end to end in the garage. My wife is insisting on parking in the garage for this whole project, so I need to be able to make a barrier. That way I can cut and grind and do everything I gotta do on the boat and not get dust all over the place, and try and keep the camping equipment and all that stuff in good working order. So I gotta put that sheet down the middle, and then I'm also gonna cover the door on the right. That goes to the hot water heater, and I also have some tools over there. Now that all the plastic sheeting is up, it is time to cut into the boat. I've probed around in all those holes that you can see there. There's definitely some wet foam in there. I haven't been able to feel any wood to speak of anywhere in the boat, which is extremely concerning. I'm using a Sawzall and an oscillating saw. And at this point, I only have one cord going into the boat, so I'm kind of jogging between those two tools. Same cord, not the best setup, but these are just exploratory cuts. And so at this point, it's really about just getting into the hull of the boat, seeing what's in there. I'm starting under the gas tank. Easy place to start. People won't see it really ever. So a good place to start. And then I can also get a look at that back gunnel where the swim platform bolts come through. See what they look like. So after quite a bit of grinding and sawzall work and kind of feeling through and trying not to ruin the stringers, I was able to get that first panel out, and then just started digging at the foam that was in there. The foam was so wet that I could just squeeze in my hand and water would just pour out of it. It's pretty disgusting. I got a little bit smarter later, and I went and found a flat bar and was digging the foam out with a flat bar, and that made a pretty big improvement for me. See that garbage can that I've got there is full to the brim of foam. That was quite a bit of sopping wet foam I got out of there. So now I'm getting up under the engine. I wanted to see what was holding the engine mounts up, and so I did a pretty crude cut here just to get in and get a look at it. It was pretty late at night. Just needed to see it before I went to bed, and what I found was more empty cavities, and I was able to get my finger into a stringer. I found out that the stringers in this boat are actually wood, but they're fiberglass boxes just full of foam, which is also wet. So here we are moving into the next day, and after that revelation that there's no wood in the thing, I wanted to check out my outdrive unit and cut into the boot here, see what I was dealing with, because there was a little bit of water seeping through this part of the floor when I was working last night. So I wanted to investigate that and then get some advice from experts. Day 5 was actually a weekend, and me and the family went to the local reservoir and just watched all the other awesome boats driving around. So I was pretty tired, so just a minor goal of getting all the teak off the boat. 26 pieces of teak in all. At this point, I've been able to consult with 2 different experts about the boat build. The first being Ron Tanis of Ski Boat Parts Online. He's got a great YouTube channel that I got a lot of inspiration from. His main suggestion was that the engine needs to come out before I do any more floor tearing up and stringer repair. So I am waiting for my second expert, who's actually my wife's co-worker's husband, to be ready to help me pull the engine, and then I can proceed with the floor. But for now, I'm just going to continue to get things out of the boat, tear it down as far as possible, and then mark out some of the other modifications that I want to make to the boat. So here I'm marking out one of the main modifications, and that's the L-seat modification. I am going to be cutting out the L-seat so that it comes up in one big unit, and instead of that little hole you can see in front of me, I'll have the entire span of that blue tape to pass skis up and through into the storage area. Another modification that I need to consult with my wife's co-worker's husband about is a in-dash cooler. that I'm pretty excited about, but we'll see what he thinks about that. So far, this right here is the best part about the boat build, hanging with Bryce in the boat. On the 7th day, I had planned on resting, but I just couldn't get it out of my head that I needed to drill into the passenger side of the boat and see what was going on under there. And I found more wet foam. Then I figured while I was out there, I might as well practice cutting out some of the stress cracks in the gel coat with my Dremel tool and the vacuum. And I think I need a sharper bit. So, on to tomorrow.